Hey everybody! So, as you clearly saw by my last review, I indulged myself in some Hasbro PulseCon stuff. And I even gave you a sneak peek of the review that was to come, the Quintesson Pit of Judgment. But, since this thing comes with so much crap, and I honestly don't want to make that long of a video today, I will be splitting them up into segments. Today I'll review Krainix and the Sharktcon. Tomorrow not tomorrow, but next week I'll review the prosecutor and the bailiff, and then we'll finally get to the judge and the actual Pit of Judgment and all the other stuff like the box and instructions. I don't often show the instructions of Transformers, but just know that they're very these ones look very cool, and if you look over there, you can even see. Well, now you can't see it, but see where I put them. Oh yeah, and you can see that. I got both of those guys recently, and I really like them. Enough chittering and chattering. Let's get on to the main event, shall we? The Quintesson, not the Quintessons, they're over there, but the Sharktcon and Krainix. Now, these guys were from a scene in the 1986 Transformers movie, where Krainix was the last survivor of a planet that I can't remember the name of and don't want to look it up right now, and I don't think I can, but Krainix was the last survivor of a planet that Unicron had consumed in the beginning of the movie. It was Krainix, by the way. That one's the Sharktcon. So these guys are from the 1986 Transformers movie, which is a masterpiece where, in that movie, Unicron eats Krainix's planet, in which he is found by somebody who works for the Quintessons, brought to their homeland of Quintessa, and then he is sentenced to trial. He is proved he is innocent and fed to the Sharktacons. Fun. So let's get into it. First, let's take a look at Krainix. Krainix is a tiny little boy who has a really nice detail on him, as you can see. He's got some paint on his head and his legs. He's got some nice sharp looking fingers. He's got some paint right there. His little toes are not painted. Got a little head crest there. And surprisingly, even though he's got little creases in his arm, he isn't posable. These can only move because bendy plastic, and these can move also because bendy plastic, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to break the guy. Size comparisons include Bumblebee and Yang, Ray Ayanami, and another very small Quintesson figure, technically, Quintessa from Transformers The Last Night, which, as well as Primus, was also one of the last things I got from Toys R Us. Rip Toys R Us. Please come back soon. Now on to his transformation. He doesn't transform. But he does have these two little tiny holes in his feet, one the size of the Quintesson Judge's little peg things, and the other one that's just small for no reason. Next part of this review is the Sharktcon, which is responsible for eating Krainix. This guy isn't actually a repaint of any Siege or Earthrise figures. In reality, he's actually just he's a repaint of the Titans Return Sharktcon Gnaw, which, yeah, it's kind of obvious, because in robot mode, I will show you that this guy really does not look like any other Siege figure, and he looks specifically different from everyone else. But yeah, he looks really nice. He's got kind of like a metallic paint to him, and he's just pretty nice. Posability, this shark fin can kind of move back and forwards in Sharktcon mode. His arms move up and down. He's got ball joint here and a ball joint here, which counts as a rotation and a swivel. And the bottom of his bottom jaw can open. A key? Wait, maybe I could use it to open the. You can open his jaw, his bottom jaw and top jaw sometimes if that doesn't pop out annoyingly. And that's pretty much it for posability. Now for size comparisons, here's everyone I just mentioned in Krainix's part. Now we can move to transformation. First, what you do, you pull this bottom jaw down, pull up here, untab these, pull them out, they become his legs. Take out his tail part, which has a little knob right there. Goes in there. Pull his jaw fully down. Flip up the head, spin it around. And then you got the head, which looks massively out of place for Earthrise toys. Then you take this, shift it up, spin his arm around. Oh, that happens sometimes, unfortunately, but you just gotta keep going with it. Anyway, so spin around. Then take the shark head, spin it to the back side. You can do whatever you want with these hands. I like to stick them forward. And then, yeah, just fiddle around with them to get them in the right position. Stick this, and this becomes his weapon. And then, bam, you got the Sharkticon's robot mode. Hold up. There's one thing that I forgot to mention about the shark mode. Sharkticon, I mean. On the bottom part of his jaw, there's two little holes right there. And if you want to, you could stick a Headmaster, Titan Master, Prime Master, whatever the frick they're called now. And you can just stick it in his head. And if you're wondering, you could stick it in his bottom jaw, and he won't fall out. In this case, I am using the Siege Ape-Face because he's really cool, and he's one of the only Headmasters that I have next to Megatronus Prime, but he's currently somewhere that I don't want to say. Yeah, the reason why you can do this is because, like I said, repainted Titan's Return figure. Titan's Return whole thing was the Headmaster, Titan Master things, blah, blah, blah. Just eat them already. So yeah, back to robot mode. This guy's robot mode is pretty okay. It really doesn't fit with, the overall what's the word? Aesthetic of the Siege and Earthrise and soon to be Kingdom toy line. It's the War for Cybertron Trilogy. I should have said that originally, but it just doesn't fit with the whole general aesthetic. And if you're wondering what I mean, most Siege figures have a waist swivel and a wrist swivel, and at least usually they have a pivot of some sorts. I have a few Siege figures that I haven't reviewed yet that I'm gonna do soon. Power Dasher Aragon doesn't have a waist swivel if I remember correctly. Wait, no, he does. Never mind. The Quintesson Judge doesn't have a waist swivel if I remember correctly, but then again, what waist? Soundwave doesn't have a wrist swivel, and what's another character? Who doesn't have an ankle pivot? There's a lot of characters who have just amazing posability in that line. Can you tell that I really liked the Siege line? I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that doesn't have an ankle pivot, but but this figure has none of that. So, and just in general, the aesthetic of it, and the general look and feel of the figure, it's not up to par with Siege's absolute awesomeness and Earthrise's ultimate, not mediocrity, but they're good. Earthrise is good, not mediocre, but yeah, I like the stuff. Anyway, so in terms of posability, you got a head swivel. You can kind of look up this far, but then the jaw pops off, and you don't want to do that because that looks weird. His arms have a ball joint where you can rotate because they used to be the shark legs. Elbow joint, which looks a little too weird, which can swivel. Like I said, no waist swivel and no wrist swivel. You got a ball joint here. You can bend this far. Head's kind of preventing it. No pivot, and that's basically it. He does have this weapon, though, which is the tail, in case you're dumb enough to not notice. Then here's the sizes with the included Spasma Ape-Face Titan Master. Headmaster. Screw it, I'm calling it Headmaster. And you can make the Sharktcon eat Krainix, because I forgot to mention that. But anyway, that was today's review. Make sure to give me a like, leave me a comment, share the video if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. Check out the bottom link in the description for the links to stuff like all other videos. My most recent upload, the link to buy this figure if you want to. You can't. It's sold out. It sucks to be you. I'm sorry, but If you didn't get it, sucks to be you, I'm sorry, but, yeah, that's the review. Goodbye. I'll get out of here.